Hi. So, today I want to talk about missing soul aspects, losing part of yourself, and maybe I want to, listen to you. Maybe you've had an incident in your life where you were doing great, and something happens, and all of a sudden you sort of lose yourself. You lose your passion, your desire, who you are, your beingness, and now everything's kind of sort of blunt and dull and same, and you just cannot get to that place. If you are that person, you know, I'd get emails from people, and they share their life stories. And another thing, I want to thank people. I never ever had the luxury of people that I don't know care about me. And I open up emails and they share their thoughts, and they're interested in my opinion. They're interested in what I think about. They even care about me, and that means a lot. I really appreciate it. I might not express it enough in my videos or in my social media and stuff, but it's just it means a lot to me, and I want to thank you for that attention, for just you talking to me and stuff, and I really appreciate it. But going back to the subject, the same people who write to me and care about me share their life stories and how it is. And the recent emails I've been reading, it's harsh to see what people go through. And they might have a great life, and then something happens, a little incident, and they lose it all, and they cannot get back in that place. One thing is when you're young, okay, you're still a kiddo. You're I'm 22. It's nothing. I'm still young as can be. I feel like a kid, and that's the way it is. But then people write to me who are over 60, who are over 70, and they get in that place in life where this everything's kind of dull and same, and they used to have a passion. It's not about getting old. It's not necessarily the age. And easy for me to talk, right? I'm not in your shoes, but I read your emails, and something happens. It's just a little click, a little incident, maybe regarding your health, maybe regarding lifestyle and different changes in life, but there can be a thing that sort of ruins everything. And the thing is, I believe that it all depends on your surroundings and stuff. Because some people, even if they're old or have bigger number in age, they can be different. And I'm talking to people, and I'm seeing people who are 18, 90, and even my great grandfather, he was my hero, because he was 94, and he's literally carrying the door on his one arm, and he's gonna fix things, and it's amazing. He was exiled in Siberia on the whole USSR times and stuff. He was the person I really loved and admired, and just seeing how he lived, seeing that the old wasn't the thing, because the way he lived life was better than anyone around me, better than my parents, my family, people in my school and stuff. He was wow. So when you look at life, there can be you can be young, but you can be lazy, vegetating on your couch, while some person who has old age and he's higher by number, he's living life, appreciating every single second and getting most out of it. That being the case, some people, you might have great life, you might have passion, you might have your desire, you might live life and just enjoy it, just have fun, just take it easy and stuff. But then something happens, and all of a sudden, maybe you're sick, maybe you get a thing in your life, maybe you have to take meds, but there's a place in time when you're doing good, boom, an incident, something happens, and all of a sudden everything's dull, and it starts changing, and it gets harder, and you lose your emotions, you lose your passion, your desire, and you just no matter what you do, you cannot get in that place. And now you start looking for different ways. You try to help yourself spiritually, emotionally. You might take supplements. You might work on various techniques. You might go to therapists and seek for help. But whatever you do, it's not enough, and it just cannot get you back to that place. What I'm talking about is sort of soul fragmentation, because I see that case a lot, and you don't have to believe everything I say. You might disagree with the way I put it, but listen me out. This is one of the tools, getting or missing soul fragment, retrieval, soul fragment, just getting back pieces of your soul and stuff. What happens is you can have a great life, or whatever life you're having is there, and then there's a time in your life when you make a decision, Maybe by yourself. Maybe you hurt someone accidentally. Maybe something happens. And is that case in your life where emotionally you're like, you need to solve it. And by that, you make a decision from now on, blah, blah, blah. And you feel the end. From now on, you will not be as angry. You will try to be like a better person. You will not do certain things to hurt other people. Whatever the scenario is, you make a decision that you will be a different person. Maybe doesn't have to be big. You don't have to even tell it to others, but you make it for yourself. That's one scenario, like when you make a decision yourself. Other people might put you in places where they make you feel guilty, and you try to adjust to the surroundings, and boom, you sort of agree that you have to change. You have to fit in, that you have to be different because you don't want to hurt others, or maybe you want to have their approval, maybe you want to have more control in your life, and all of a sudden you change the way that sort of works for you because you want to survive, and that is not serving you. And you fit in for the while, like, yeah, you can fit in, and for a while you can survive. But after that while goes, after like a week, a month, a year or two, or like 10 years, that thing goes away, and then all of a sudden, there's this sort of big empty place in your stuff. There's no passion. You feel empty, like nothing can fill it in. And when I'm saying, like, some people can have great desire, passion, creativity, whatever, and all of a sudden it's gone. But you can get it back. And what I'm talking about, like, I'm working with people who have those cases, who've had like a lot of energy, who had like lots of great things in life, and all of a sudden they lose it. And the way it works, like, just think about yourself. Think about the aspects of yourself that you've had. It can be like, a personality type, like, or like, just like lifestyle. You can be healthy. You can be like passionate about certain things. You can be into creativity, into dancing, into painting, like drawing. Like, pick your thing. Pick a thing that you might have lost or you would like to have. And the thing is, like, you can choose like a personality or like perspective, like, like, okay, healthy. I want to be healthy again. I want to be energized. I want to be passionate. And I used to be, at some point in life, that person. Now, I am not, because life and other things happened. So your job is basically to reflect at that being that you were at the time. The personality, the feeling state. What is it exactly? So when you can locate that feeling state, that personality, that beingness, then you can sort of be specific, addressing it like as a being. And the thing is, when we talk about our lower self, higher self and stuff, we can split. And, we think like, oh, my higher self is there, and like, I'm just like a little part of it. I'm the underling, and like, I'm just doing missions here or whatever, like just trying to solve and waiting to get back to my higher self. Well, that's the thing. You can be the higher self yourself, and you make decisions in life, or life happens, and you cut out the part of your past personality because you're going to change. This is you splitting. And the same way, the higher self decided, like, from now on, I'm gonna have a few lives, so I'm gonna split into parts, and I will try to be this being, while part of me goes do that other thing. Same thing. Your higher self just split you, and like, bye now, like, go do your thing, and get back to me whenever, if ever. And we might lose our personality, we might lose our beingness, and like, you decide to be a good person. Like, you're not gonna do crimes, you're not gonna lie, you're not gonna do certain things, and you change of who you are, like, at the time, because it fits you. You want to be that person. You split that personality or like beingness, but that part, that energy, that like beingness, that who you were, is still there, and that can be like one, or can be thousands and millions, and they can live their own lives. They can literally, it's a part of soul that or consciousness that can incarnate and be someone. So it doesn't have to be around you. It can literally go off somewhere in the multiverse, find a vessel that fits them, and live a life. And be that personality, be that like maybe rageful person, maybe a person that lies. Doesn't matter, but it's part of you. So if like our overself splits us because of something, then it happens. So anyway, I'm trying to get to the point because some people like, hey, make shorter videos, make longer videos. Like, it's like a roller coaster to fit in with people's needs. But anyway, choose the personality that you might have had in the past, or that you would like to have, the beingness. And all you have to do is like locate, not even locate, just feel it, know what it is, and you can imagine it coming back. If you can imagine, like, this sort of thing, like, like crown chakra and stuff, and things can come in. You make rules of who can enter. And be sure that you protect yourself from entities, from any beings that might wish you harm or like might just not serve you. And you make rules that like, okay, mm, only beings that are pure, that are here to help me, that are like part of me, blah blah blah. But you be very specific about who you want to invite, because like in my previous videos I made like, hey, you can accidentally invite entities in your space by like overusing DMT and stuff, or like doing some like summoning videos of like succubus and stuff. But I forgot to mention the part where sometimes in life people like oh god, please help me, or like I just want someone to help, like please help. And like we ask for things without being very specific for what we ask for, and there will be beings who listen to us and they're looking for invitation, and once we give that invite, we're not specific, we're not being specific about what we're asking for, and then they're like, yeah, I can help, and they help you with that thing, but they can mess with you later. So that being the case, when you want to get that aspect back, where you are energized, where you are healthy, when you're doing good in life, where like the part of you that you might have had in your like beginning of your life or some stage in your life, or you might even like, hey, I never had it but I would like to have it, you can invite that part too. Because if you are looking for your higher self and lower self, you can literally connect to that part and take that piece from them and get it inside you. So if you want to be like, more artistic, more creative, more confident and stuff, you can invite that part in your life. And all it takes is like, be specific about who you want and who you're asking for. Make sure you're not inviting any entities that will not serve you, and basically you cut out any ways from them to coming in. It's not like you're inviting entities in your space, but you can say things in a way that can like sort of mess you up, which is why you have to be careful about the way you ask it. But once you're very specific and you know the way, like for example, let's look at me. Healthy would probably be the thing. Just because recently I'm the person who can drink cold water and then get like throat ache and stuff. So I did that recently, and that's not good. So basically, right now, in my reality, I've lost the part that is sort of healthy, fully healthy, like, who has the resistance for the cold water and stuff like that. I look at that part, okay. And percent that is feeling super healthy, feeling like really 100%, 110, like really good. Because I'm feeling good, but there's that part like, oh, I have a throat ache. I don't want that. So it's part of me that like is sort of gone. The fully 100% strong immune system, like really good. I'm like, okay. So what I want is like healthy aspect of me that's really strong, has a great immune system, is like powerful, whatever I want to plug in. So look at those. And definitely in previous videos I've explained, but like there are a few ways how you can get those aspects. One is sort of, okay, you know specifically what you want, so you can sort of visualize. Okay, I have a feeling state, conscious, like, like this sort of great immune system, feeling great, like, very healthy. And you can invite that part, and you can start like, just like imagine it coming and filling you up, and filling those parts. Like maybe if I have like a throat ache, I can imagine that part coming in and literally curing it. It's like, like you invite a builder who's gonna build the walls and like cure you, and like, like, don't use the word cure in America. That can help you out. But like basically like sort of build a protection and stuff. So that being said, you can visualize stuff. You can visualize a part of you filling in. Like maybe if you have, like, this is physical body, energy body, like, astral body, etheric body, like lots of ways to put it in. But imagine just the energy of what it would feel like. And so you invite that energy, you take it from your higher self, over self, however you might put it. You don't have to think about entities, just focus on the good, and where energy goes, where focus goes, energy flows. So basically, you focus on, like, specifically on the good part, the healthy part, like feel good part, and you attract it, you get it for yourself, you take it, and that becomes you. So that's one thing, like visualizing, sort of feeling it and stuff. Another thing, there's a thing like called Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian prayer technique. So you can imagine, like, maybe at some point of your life you weren't really going fully, like, maybe you weren't really appreciative, and maybe you've made a decision yourself where you like consciously decided that, like, I don't want a part of me to be there. Maybe the surroundings, like right now, oh my god, coronavirus, we're all gonna die, pandemic, it's like scarcity, everyone's buying out food, like, we're gonna, like, starve to death, so we have to buy it out and stuff, like huge chaos. So in that surrounding, we start feeling like, oh, there's pandemic, people are going like this, and your mindset goes into the fear state, and that's exactly what they want. They want to scare the hell out of us to control us because it's easier that way. So you put yourself into like, oh, you're living in the surroundings of unhealthy people who are scared, and you might adjust yourself unconsciously, subconsciously, and you adjust yourself to sort of like surroundings where you don't feel that healthy. You drop your mindset from like, no one can harm me, I'm the best being in the world, to the point where like people are getting sick. Everyone's buying out food. There's pandemic going on. Coronavirus. Fuck. And it scares the hell out of you. Not maybe consciously, maybe you're not thinking about it, but you're living in a surrounding that's like sort of toxic, not good for you. And so you subconsciously see it all going on. You might not think about it, but your brain catches it. So what happens? You drop your level from really healthy to scarcity. It's kind of like, this stuff is happening. People are getting sick. People are getting sick. This is what we see in our surroundings, and we attract that energy. So maybe that, like what you see in your surroundings, gets you to become like more susceptible to it. So you buy the belief that people can get sick, and you subconsciously become that. You become sick. You attract because you become vulnerable. You like sort of let yourself to get to that place. So that being said, now you're like, okay, so you look at the part that you want to have. Like I was healthy. I was like, I had a great immune system. I had like, you know, the sort of great feeling set, and like feeling really like comfortable, conscious of my shoes, like all this stuff, whatever you pick. So what happens? Like, okay, this is the feeling state. Now, Ho'oponopono technique. 4 commands. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. It can be in different or like parts and stuff, but it's just like 4 steps. So you just spin a story. How do you do it? Like, just spin a story. You're talking to the part of yourself that's fully like healthy, like has a strong immune system, like whatever you want to have. And you're like, the way I would do it is like, okay, so the part of me that was like super healthy, like feels really great, like has perfect immune system, is there, as sort of just like, just because of the surroundings gets cut, and how do I get it back? I focus on it. I focus on the feelings, like how does it feel to be healthy? How does it feel to be great, strong, and stuff like that? All the feelings that I would like to have or had, and all of a sudden like I don't feel that way. I focus on the feeling state, the personality, the beingness, and basically just have a conversation with it out loud or in your mind, whichever way is comfortable. But what you do is like, okay, this is my personality over here. And basically I'm talking to it like, you know, hey, look, I'm sorry that I got my mindset into this place where people are getting sick. And please forgive me for looking too much at this whole scarcity and like scaring myself, sort of starting to believe that maybe I can get sick. Like, you know, like, for me, mine's from like my scenario. I'm going to America. There's like people with coronavirus in America, and everyone in my family like, oh my god, you're gonna die, don't go to America. And I'm like, whoa, chill, I'm great, I'm doing good, I'm not gonna get sick because I'm healthy, like I believe in myself. But people are like, you know, you go to the airports and stuff, everyone's wearing masks and everyone's asking questions and stuff, so it's like scarcity, like, you know. And then you open news and like you see, oh, like coronavirus there and coronavirus there, like people are buying stuff out, pandemic, we're all gonna die out. So that, like, that going on in the surroundings will put you in a place where you start sort of scaring yourself without thinking about it much. Maybe you don't have a belief system, but the surroundings, like, you know, so you give in to that. So I might have gave into that, and I don't have coronavirus. Hope, but like I just like trying to consume cold water and like my throat aches. That's it. Sort of so. So that being said, like, you know, please forgive me for like, you know, getting into that mindset, not allowing myself to be fully conscious of how I'm feeling and stuff, but thank you for being there for me. Thank you for keeping me healthy. Thank you for like giving me great immune system. And like, I really love you. I love feeling healthy, and you make my life great. So please, I invite you to get back and help me out and like make me feel healthy and have great immune system. And weirdly enough, as I'm talking about it with the throat ache, I don't feel it anymore. And that's just me playing with it. Just sort of like, hey, I'm gonna give you an example, but all of a sudden, I feel much better. And like, hey, yeah, you're just making shit up. It happened to me, and and like for me, I'm not saying like it already. It works for me right now, but let's take a different scenario. Like, there can be tons of cases where you can pick, and you don't have to necessarily use this way specifically. But think about soul aspects that you can get. Maybe it's creative, maybe it's like being able to be financial free, to be really protective, to be energetic, to be whatever you want to be. Just choose the aspect of yourself, personality, energy state, feeling, like beingness and stuff. Focus on it. Visualize it coming back. Invite it back into your life. Think of like Ho'oponopono and like do that. Lots of different ways, but it's not the only way. There are lots of different things and techniques that you can use, and that's just one tool that you can use. So, second tool is maybe removing your soul contracts. Now, soul contracts are basically the agreements that we have or that we make before we incarnate here on Earth or reincarnate. So basically, before you come and take the body, you will sort of like imagine a line and everyone's like waiting for their body, like hurry up now. So everyone wants to get the body and the vessel. And before you get the vessel, you have to agree to certain things, because now you're playing by the rules of archons who control this realm, and you basically have to agree to terms of service. Like you're installing an app on your, or a program on your PC, and you have to agree to the terms of service. You are too lazy to read all that. Like, oh yeah, next, because you want to get the app, and you don't care what you're agreeing to. You just don't care. Same way when we are incarnating or reincarnating. We want to get the vessel, we want to play the game, we want to engage, we want to have a life and just be here. We don't care about what we agree to, like, yeah, just let me in. And you might but you won't be able to fly. Yeah, I don't care, like, you just get me in. Like, it's just like a few lemons that you might have heard about. But there's like a whole book, a few thousand pages with agreements. Just, hurry up, let me in, I want to play. And we're like in a hurry. We don't think about what we're agreeing to. So, that being said, soul contract agreements are agreements that we make before we incarnate or reincarnate, before we get the vessel. Once we are in here, once our consciousness is playing, once we have a body here and we're living our life here on Earth, you might make mundane agreements. That basically just agreements, daily agreements, like whatever you call it. But it's not a soul contract agreement, it's basically just an agreement for this life. So, that being, you live your life, and your parents are programming you, the system is programming you, teachers are programming you, everyone in life are programming you. And basically, they make you to agree to things. Like, hey, you're gonna go to hell if. We read, the religion people, and I'm gonna make more videos about it because I'm poking the beehive, but there's a big thing about this fear of hell and chaos and stuff, and everyone's belief about hell and how it looks like can be different, and it will be different. But the feeling state that oh my god, if I do this, I will go to hell, I will suffer and stuff, it's limiting. There is no karma. There is no karma. You do not have to pay for your sins, because it's all a duality here. It's all right or wrong, good and bad and stuff. This is the earthly thing that they're using to control people and keep them here and keep us trapped with the mindset. There is no such stuff out there in the multiverse. When you go to 4D, 5D, fifth dimension and stuff, there's no such thing. You're free. And all it ends up being there is just a game. Consciousness wants to experience things. So you might do good things, you might do bad things. You will play out both perspectives. You will be a great being and sentinel that will protect everyone, that will keep Rome safe. And you will also be the Archon because you want to experience that. Because as a soul and the consciousness, you can live for billions of years, for quintillions and trillions of years. And you've lived out a few billion years as being super loving, helpful, you're really spiritual, you're doing good things. But you're like, I've played out all the scenarios, I'm tired of it, I'm bored as can be, I want something new. And you decide to maybe, let's see what happens if I start killing people. Let's see what happens if I start dominating. Let's see what happens if. And just turn tons of scenarios. So in duality, in the multiverse, there is no reality. Duality. Fuck. What's going on? In the multiverse, there is no duality. It's only the earthly thing. So while you're out there, you will play out both scenarios and you do not feel guilty about it. Oh yeah, I did a thing. You can be conscious about how you act. You can be conscious okay. And people might suffer. People might experience pain. You might experience pain. You might feel happy about it, whatever case. But at some point, you will be conscious of your actions. You have the sense of feeling of how you're acting. It's not the good, bad, or wrong. You're you know what you're doing, you're conscious of it, but you also can sort of be empathetic to others, and sort of yeah, I've caused pain, so it would be logical that I would too experience pain. So when we even work with people, there's a few cases of scenario, you cause someone else the pain, someone else causes you the pain. You watch other people causing each other people pain, and you cause pain to yourself. And there can be lots of scenarios where it's just 4 simple rules. Someone else does something to you. You do something to someone else. two people doing it to each other and you doing it to yourself. Lots of scenarios of how it can go. You can be a good person and you like someone else does good thing to you. You do something like do a good thing to someone else. You watch other people do good things to each other and you do good things for yourself. Like just pick a thing and plug it into that thing. So anyway, that being said, in the multiverse, you will experience all kinds of scenarios. You will be good and bad, but it's not considered good or bad because you are just consciousness. You are the awareness, and you're experiencing what it is to be like good or like sort of helpful, kind, whatever. And you choose a personality. You choose what you want to be, and you be that. But there is no karma. There is no sin. There is no I messed up. I have to like sort of pay back for my sins. I have to go to hell for that. Like no. That does not happen. But on Earth, on the 3D, like, in the physical universe, there is a saying like, hey, it's a great way to keep strong beings here. We're just going to spin a story. And all this is a sleazy salesperson who's trying to act and put a story to keep you here. And they will tell anything to just like make you believe stuff, to trap you here, and make sure that as a soul, as a consciousness, as a powerful being, you lose a part of yourself. When we incarnate here, we lose a lot of our abilities because we have to agree to the rules of this realm. We cannot fly, we cannot use the telepathic abilities and blah blah blah. And they just sort of, you might be great being, you might be super strong, you might have like energy like no one else. You've been a healer for the mortals and like healing like and helping billions of beings out there, and you come here and like no, you cannot have that much energy. Oh, and you cannot fly, and you cannot this and then they fracture you tons of pieces, and you come here as limited little being without all those powers, and now you have to fit into the system, and now you're not feeling like yourself, and now your life is not so good, and now it's all kind of messed up because like you used to be great. Out in the multiverse, you know who you are. You might have like looked into your past lives and you've heard like, oh, like some readers did this story like spin on me and like I used to be a great being. Maybe you remember your past lives. Maybe you remember the good and the bad that you did and stuff. Doesn't matter. But the thing is, they fracture us and they make sure that we are limited here on Earth. And then we lose all of our memories. We just no, forget it. So they push a story like, hey, you have to Earth School, you have to come and learn, you have to like relive it. But then once you die, we're gonna delete your memories again and just make sure that we can fracture you again and limit you more and make sure that you lose more of your abilities and just keep doing it until you become nothing so that we can control you and make sure that we can conquer the universe because you are a threat to us and we don't want that happening in our life. So stay here on Earth and don't mess with us. Just don't do that. So, that being said, you can live your life as, like, you come here as a powerful being, they fracture you, you're limited, you might make agreements before coming here, you might make agreements while living here. Your parents, like, hey, don't do this, you cannot lie, you cannot do this. You start agreeing to the rules of your parents, you go to kindergarten, you have to act a certain way that they're acting, you go to school, you have to change the way your behavior, you go to university or a new work, you have to change your behavior, and you're always adjusting yourself, you're always trying to fit in, you're always trying to be the best version of yourself, but just trying to survive here. And you're always sort of shaping yourself to fit in this world, which is not the way it's supposed to be. So the world, being like sort of the system and those who want us to fit in, create the rules of what is supposed, like what are the rules for fitting in, what you're supposed to be like, and they cause this whole like chaos and like racism and sexism and stuff like that, and they make sure that, people are sort of start having like nothing about politics, religion, and stuff like that. They will cause people to have like sort of different opinions, and it's all like divide and conquer. Simple. So create tons of different opinions, create lots of different systems where people have to fit in, but all those they just don't go together. They just don't, and they cause people to fight. They cause people to have all these instances and stuff. That's just one aspect. But you're trying to fit into the world, you're trying to do things, and you are constantly making agreements every single day. It's not just like agreement, no. It's all your beliefs, it's your perceptions, it's your attitude, your feeling state, your thoughts, your, just name it, your personality, your identity, like things like that. It will all be your agreements. So that being said, you can remove them. If you're feeling sick, it's an agreement. If you have fucked up life, it's an agreement. If you can't make money, it's an agreement. If you feel like you have no energy, it's an agreement. And just look at bad stuff that's going on to you, look at the patterns, look at the repetitive stuff, and just think of it as an agreement. You agree to live your life that way. You agree to that. Because, like, imagine you have a great day. You have a great day and someone, like, tells a thing to you. Oh, you suck. You don't get. You can't do this. Oh, Akvile, you sort of mess with like Christians and stuff, and we have personal like belief, and you don't get us and stuff, and people bash me. So it's my choice. Okay, maybe I didn't like it. Maybe I didn't like the comment. Maybe I start reacting to it. My choice is how long am I gonna be playing the game, thinking about it, focusing on it, and am I gonna allow them to affect my life and sort of make me feel bad, and then like sort of start like I can choose my focus. Like, oh, okay, yeah, the person has a different belief system. That's cool. Or I can go like, oh no, like they don't get me, like I have to, like I can have like several choices, like write back something bad, or like just try to prove something and get my point across and stuff, or just like whatever. But whatever you're focusing on, it's your right. You can consciously make an agreement where you're gonna focus on, and you can just like, oh yeah, cool, they can have a different opinion. That's it. But you can also like make sure that you prove your point and you push it, and they just don't get you, and you have to make sure that they get you, and then you end up focusing on a negative, you end up focusing on a bad thing, and you are feeling bad the whole day because whatever happened. It was your choice, your focus, stuff happened. You also can consciously choose to not react to it. It happens, yes. It affects your life, yes. But you can change how you feel about it and not let it control your life and suppress you. That's one state. But that being said, there can be tons of things that happens, and we agree to those things. We agree to that. Somewhere in life stuff happens where we let it like affect us. So you can remove your soul contract agreements. If you are feeling like you don't have energy, maybe you cannot get like a girl or a guy, your like relationship sucks, maybe you don't like something about yourself, you just like look at things that are not so good in your life and remove those agreements. It's not like, oh yeah, from now on I don't agree to that. Well, yeah, it's not really gonna help, because you can change your beliefs about it, but it doesn't remove the agreement fully, because when we do soul contract revocation, there are very important steps. Removing reinstatement clauses. Basically, we are removing the agreements that will come back after revocation, which means for a moment you can stop agreeing to that thing, but at the same time that agreement can come back at any time because we did not remove the thing that keeps them from coming back. That's one thing. There are reinstatement clauses, basically other entities that will have your agreement. Listen, you have a conversation with someone else, and you agree to something, and then you stop agreeing to that thing, but that person still knows that you, like, in their life, in their perspective, they know that you have that agreement. There might be other beings around us we might not see that will hold our agreements as well, which is why we make sure that we remove it everywhere. Not just beings, not just entities, but throughout your present, past, and future within all dimensions, realities, realms, just like name it. Like, you remove all the agreements throughoutly, not just life now, everywhere, in your past, present, future, like all that stuff. So that being said, we also remove all kinds of implants and imprints and overlays and like frozen emotions and like just like you name it, tons of things. That being said, all you have to do is there's Cameron Days. Look it up. Look, I also made a video about how to remove soul contracts. You can just go to my YouTube channel and find out one of the videos where I do like soul contract revocation method. Like I covered the whole method completely. Anyway, that being said, there's 12 steps, 12 commands, easy to do. I explained everything in my video, so just watch that. But look at your issues in life and focus on it, and choose specific area in life, like a health, financial station, relationships, whatever, and then get very specific. Get very specific in that area. Maybe you are afraid of being judged. Oh yeah, I don't like being judged. I'm being judged. It's just too broad. By whom? How are you feeling when you're being judged? What do you think when you're being judged? Just go zero in on something. Zero in. Get very specific. Feeling bad when I get judged, or being judged by my mom, being judged by this guy, being judged by that, whatever. And you choose very specific, and you literally talk it all out regarding one specific thing. And everything you're going to say about a subject, all of your thoughts, all of your emotions, all of your feelings, all your experiences from the past, the way you think about it, will be agreements. So literally, everything you experience right now in life is an agreement The way you feel is an agreement. The way you think is an agreement. The way you perceive life is an agreement. And by removing those agreements, you can change your life and basically shift into the reality where that stuff is not going on, and you literally blow it out. That's like, okay, fixing your life by like getting back missing soul aspects, by removing agreements. And another thing that can really help you out is removing entities. And that's a big thing. Entities, sadly, they're all around us. Some people might not be able to see them. Some people might. Some people, like, you might not see them, but you can feel it. Maybe you can hear it. Like, some people are able to like have the thoughts and like communicate through them. Like, lots of ways how that can happen. But there's a lot of entities. It doesn't have to be scary big reptilian or gray or someone else from like the extraterrestrials. No. You can imagine, like, us above, so below. We think of entities out there, but we have entities inside. All the bacteria, all the parasites and funguses living inside us, like in our system. Long ago, when the Earth was like a ball of gas and like fire and stuff, and life starts, whatever. Like, we put the sort of however you want. The first life is a bacteria. And they will survive. And like, hey, gas is perfect place. It's hot. It's toxic. We can live here. And then we start having like atmosphere and like sort of trees and like nature and stuff. And all of a sudden, that becomes toxic for the bacteria to live in. So they need to find a perfect place to live. That becomes the guts of the animal, because it's like, oh, it's safe, cool. It's like, it's this perfect surrounding. And then the animal gets eaten. Like, oh, fuck. Like, well, now what? So eventually, bacteria are in our body, like, tons of bacteria, like you name it, but they make us up. There are good bacteria, bad bacteria, good parasites, bad parasites that create our system and how we live, and like they affect our life in a big way. So that's one way to put it. The aliens in our body, aliens controlling our life, because eventually all of those cravings, the way you live your life, all of those supplements, is all bacteria moving around, like doing stuff. And you can imagine, like, there is like galactic war out there, and the galactic war inside of you, where you might eat healthy and you will have tons of good bacteria that will help you, but then you might get sick. And there's a war inside of you where bacteria will want to protect your body, where other bacteria like, hey, we're going to take over this one and kill them all, and just like, that's what we do. And literally, you have a whole western town shooting each other, and the bad guys are the ones who will shoot the holes in your body and make sure that you die, because they have fun, because that's how they live, that's how they roll. And some other bacteria will be like, hey, this is our place, we want to live, this human being, we don't really care about your life and what you do, but we want to live here, so we want to make sure that we help you to create habits that like keep making like the surroundings for us, which is why people can get cravings for the good stuff. Like, I'm gonna eat an apple, yeah, I want an orange, and all those cravings for the good stuff is those bacteria controlling you. They're pulling your strings, like, hey, come on, like, we need an apple, we need all the right supplements to build you a stronger body so that we could survive, and they will make you eat good stuff. There are bacteria who are like, hey, want to kill this fucker, get cola, get some chips and alcohol, woo, let's roll. And they, like, all of a sudden you get cravings. Who's controlling your cravings? Not you. It's the bacteria inside your body. You are the one that will go for it, like, yeah, I want chips, I'm gonna get chocolate. Or you can go like, I want avocado. You pick the side, but like, beings inside of you can control you and pull your strings. It's all about how you perceive your life. That's inside us. That's just inside us. Outside of us is all thoughts, emotions, and stuff. And basically, we as consciousness, we don't have chatter in the mind. There's no chatter. There are no thoughts. It's just knowingness. You are the knowingness. You are the consciousness of it all. You are the perception, the awareness. You're not thinking machine. You are just aware and perceiving the things. That's it. So, that being said, Eckhart Tolle has a thing where he says, like, hey, our thoughts are entities. And literally, there are entity clusters who will have certain emotion, who will have certain feeling state, and they can affect your life. So, you might have a great day, and there can be a cluster here. Maybe a person is walking past you, and that cluster jumps for here. And all of a sudden, that cluster is filled in with, like, maybe anxious beings, maybe racial beings, maybe just like depressed beings. And you have a day, and all of a sudden there's a sort of feeling state just like sort of takes you over, and you start like feeling from good to sort of scared, depressed, or like weird feeling state that sort of takes you over, and all of a sudden it's really messing you up. It's really affecting you in a negative way. And you become susceptible to that, and you, being an intuitive person, you having the empathy, you can pick up on those entities. And it's not you like pretending it all and stuff, but you literally pick up the conversations of those entities. You think it's your chatter when it is not. And you having the ability to pick up the chatter from them, because you are empathic and intuitive, you literally pick up thousands and billions of clusters around you of like these entities that communicate to each other or just talk to themselves, and all that goes in your mind. And they control you. They control your thinking. So we, instead of knowing and acting and feeling and perceiving and being that, we become the thinking machine. Non-stop thinking, non-stop worrying, non-stop concerns, non-stop anxiety, depression, like all those states, they are not serving you. And all of a sudden you start doubting yourself, you get into these weird habits, you get these, like they literally are baiting you. I imagine like, there's a cluster of entities who are like, throwing a bait, like, just trying to like fish you over and stuff. And they're gonna like, yeah, go look at porn. And then you have a girlfriend or like boyfriend and stuff who don't like you doing that behavior. And you're like, yeah, but I really want to do that. I really want to look at porn, or I really want to go out and stuff. I really want to eat that certain thing. And you do something that feels good at the time, and that's the bait. And the person who reacts to that, and you overreact, and like it's just those entities will cause a fight between you and other people. Those entities will make you say things when you don't mean it. You literally can get over the top emotion like feeling state when you are not in control, because they can literally enhance it. It's like the radio channel. You can be here like, sort of mildly interested, mildly this, and like, but you have a certain emotional tone level, you have certain feeling state, and they're like, oh yeah, we need to generate more illusion from this person, so then they crank it up, and all of a sudden you become super reactive to the environment, and smallest things that used to never trigger you become super toxic, and now it's just like firebombs, like it's just like it's steroids, like boom, cracks you up, and like it really gets you going, and like all of a sudden, instead of having a good day, you start becoming overreactive, you start saying things that just pisses you off, and all of a sudden you are living in a negative place in life. You're feeling weird, you're feeling sort of fired up and like maybe negative and all. So that being said, there are lots of ways that this can happen. You can look at your thoughts, your daily feeling state, even the patterns in your life, the people that you sort of maybe don't get along with, the things that happen in your life, and all the clumsiness and stuff. These entities can literally control our life. Just like bacteria, these entities can create thoughts, these entities can create the urges, like certain behaviors and needs and likes. So, like imagine, literally, the whole thing with entities, there's a huge hierarchy. And we can think like, oh, it's like body fate, like basically, a being or like so a consciousness without free will. It's just like a little entity, and ends up like the clusters, like those that can affect your thoughts, those that can mess with your thoughts, and like delete your memories, and like eventually we go into all the demons, reptilians, and greys, and you name it, tons of beings. So there's a place where you might have succubus or incubus, and they're like, sexual entities, and they can affect you. And they're like, hey, we need to gather more sexual energy from people, we need to mess with them, we need to gather more loosh. So, and they pointed the sort of cluster, like they're just like, imagine like nano-size being. You can't see them, it's there. It's so super small, but it has consciousness. It has the thoughts and stuff. So, this succubus will basically point a finger like, hey, go mess with that person, create some thoughts, and make sure that he gets us and stuff. And they spend some whatever story, but basically these entities will cause you like, hey, go look at porn, hey, do this, do that. And basically they cause you to go in certain behavior that being you start playing by their rules, and once thinking that it's you wanting that thing, when all it was just a setup. And they literally guide you into certain behaviors or actions where it was a setup, and now you did something and it really messes up your life and like gets you in a weird state of life. So entity removal, there are tons of ways to do it, and I cannot name them all, and you can find tons of ways on the internet, but visualizing, just sort of visualizing the cluster, and like you can imagine yourself like as when you look at your body, just like white energetic body, and you're looking for the dark spots in your body. And there can be some here, maybe it's like whatever you like. You're scanning your body, and all the dark spots can be either entities or basically affected, like negatively affected, like energy state or like part of in your body. You can move those, like you just like sort of fill it up, like sort of clear it out and stuff. So that's one thing. You can literally be a life coach to these entities, because a lot of times these entities are being forced to do things against themselves. Like some entities are just like kids. They're just like us, and they want to survive and they want to live, but beings that are in the hierarchy, that are higher, want to control and dominate. It's just a usual story. So these entities will basically come to those, like, bigger beings, come to smaller entities, and, like, hey, if you don't listen to us, you're gonna die. If you don't listen to us, you're gonna suffer. If you do this and that and that. And entities, just like us, they want affection, they want to be approved of, they want to have some control in their life, and they want to survive. So whatever scenario you spend, there will be, not all of it, but there will be lots of beings out there who literally will mess with you because they've been ordered to, because they've been threatened. If you don't mess with that human being, we're gonna trap you, we're gonna torture you. Or maybe there's even the whole thing about, like, rewarding system. Hey, look, if you're gonna mess with those beings, like, not just one person, but like a whole family of people, or whatever, like, they just spin a scenario, like, we're gonna give you more approval, like, you're gonna be like one of the best, like, we're gonna make sure that you have a spot among us and stuff. And you're like, yeah, and you're craving for that approval, but all of a sudden it just doesn't work, and they keep giving you other jobs, and they keep pushing you, and you end up basically being a slave trying to get that approval because you want that. People want to be approved of, people want to be loved, to be noticed, to have that affection and care and stuff. That's how literally they can mess with entities too. They want to get the race up, they want to get, like, hey, well done, you did great. But all this is like control, and entities can literally be controlled by that thing. So all it takes is for you to become empathic, be there for the entity. If the entity is messing with you and you hear the thoughts, you can literally talk to it, you can literally engage with the entity and find a way to help them, find a way to release them. There's literally, I've given sessions where these entities are, like, messing with the person a lot, like affecting his body, affecting his feelings, and all sorts of things. And basically what we do is, like, we find other beings in the hierarchy who are threatening, like, hey, if you don't do that, we're gonna kill you. The entity is scared. It is scared, and, like, it's trying to survive. So what we do is basically visualize a place, a realm that is safe, that's, like, sort of like nice looking and stuff, and we create this sort of, like, shielding and, like, whatever energy, like, spin a story of, like, best realm possible for that being. And we invite, like, hey, look, we're gonna make sure, like, you have a safe place to live, you have a, like, safe place to be at. Go there, you can live your life, and no one will affect you. And what happened? The entity happily left and was really thankful and never bothered the person again, because it felt safe and it got the need approved and, like, sort of solved and stuff. So you can literally be there for entities, be there for beings that are messing with you, because they need help as well. They are just the underlings, they are, like, just the puppets, so you can help them. You can also, like, all the chatter, like, hey, don't fuck with me, like, and you can have back and forth conversation with all, like, cussing and stuff. That doesn't work. Just yelling at them will not help. You're gonna attract the more stuff. So instead of that, make sure that you have more authority. You can command them, you can order them, but just messing with them, just having back and forth, like, all the stuff, this ain't gonna help. So that being said, visualizing techniques, like, just sort of having sessions with them, you can literally even offer them places and stuff, lots of ways. So that being said, I'm wrapping it up because my laptop is sort of out of juice. But hopefully, if you have issues in life, you can use one of these tools to see if some of this is happening, to see, like, if you can use one of these things to help yourself. So that being said, hopefully it might be hopefully it will be useful, and hope you like this video, or, like, tell me what you think. I might be completely wrong on all this stuff, like, just, like, share your thoughts and stuff, share your techniques of how you go through life, how you do with those things. And hey, thank you for watching. Feel free to write me email, or, like, in comments, or social media, anywhere. I really appreciate you being here, watching this video and stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye.